Hey guys, this is Christian, and we are back for week 6 of meet prep for the XBC finals at the Arnold. This is our last week of isometrics in our triphasic meet prep block. Today, for a prescription on squats, we are using the spider bar. Now, the spider bar is Satan's offspring of a Elite FTS cambered bar paired with an Elite FTS safety squat bar. It is brutal. This bar will pull you forward and throw you back all in the same movement, so you have to make sure that your trunk is very, very solid and tight while using this bar. So today, along with Wednesday, I'm training in the morning. I hate training in the mornings. It is not amped at our gym at all. I have one of my training partners there, but as you can hear, once my final squat comes up, the music is not loud, the atmosphere is not amped up, and these are environments that I do not thrive in. So today was a pretty rough training day. I also want you to notice that with this camera angle, during my warm-ups and my sets working up to my last one, it looks like I'm high. Now, I dealt with high calls at my last RPS meet. I have narrowed my stance, and I've been working on this significantly. And as you will see on the last video that we have of squats, that camera angle changes, and I am at depth. You're going to just have to take my word for it, and I am working on this to make it no contest, no question with the judges when I get to the meet. Walking these out really is pretty gnarly because the chains like to sway back and forth, so two of my training partners, I usually have people side spot with a bar like this because someone from behind really isn't going to be able to have a place to grab and do much. So if you have two side spotters, they'll be able to grab the bar if you get out of control and help you back up. I have my headphones in, trying to amp myself up with music that gets me pumped because the music at the gym, again, was low. We have personal training clients that come in, and we can't have everything like going crazy loud because we have trainers that need to help people instruct people in what they're doing. So I believe my top set is going to be 450 pounds worth of straight weight and 10 chains. That's roughly about 200 pounds up top. We got a 3-second pause, just like the rest of our isometric block. And my last set, 4 squats, went pretty well. I was really comfortable with squatting on this bar, and with my new stance, I am comfortable in the hole. So as you can hear in the background, the music is really low, and I'll let this last one play out for you. As you can watch, my depth is where it needs to be, and I had to do a lot of mental prep for this set. So, on to one of our accessories. We have RDLs into pins about 2 inches shy of lockout. So my lower back is one of the things that gives me issues, so I am very, very, very focused on form here. I do not want my spine to break. I want it to stay neutral, so I'm not going super heavy. To be honest with you, that felt pretty darn heavy, especially with 3 sets of about 9 reps. On to day 2. Today was probably the worst training cycle or training bench day that I've had in this cycle. Last week, this is the exact same weight that I did. This is my second set, and it is also my last set. My first set, I couldn't even lock out the third one, and you can just see me struggling. I'm shaking all over the place, and this last one to lock out was just, it took everything in me. Again, I was lifting in the morning. I didn't have my regular training partners. I had someone else lifting me off. It was quiet. There was just so many variables that had me all messed up. So I cut my losses. I wasn't going to have any messed up thoughts going through my head of failed reps, so I just moved on to accessory work. We then went on to close grip bench blocks with a 3 board. And just finished that out to move on the day. These felt a lot better. It kind of gave me a boost of confidence after the train wreck of my main movement. And I was already smoked from my first two movements. This is actually my last movement. It's a pin press, or a rail slide pin press. So you can see the pins are set up. The bar is going to rest on the pins, and you're doing an overhead press, but you're pressing forward into the rail. This gives a different dimension and direction of force that you are exerting on the bar, so it makes it a little bit harder. It forces you to stay tighter, and it just makes everything suck. I actually fail on that, and that is the end of that day. I was just happy for that day to be over. Unfortunately, Friday, which is usually my favorite day because I love deadlifting. I was going to try and destroy what I did last week. I felt good today that I am training in the afternoon. My deadlift is hit or miss. There is one thing that I want you guys to notice when I'm deadlifting that will either have me make the lift or miss. It is my shoulders. If I arc my back up right before I pull, I will more than likely finish the lift. These are my last sets, and you can see that my shoulders are forward, and that's why I'm struggling so much to lock these all out. I do not get my shoulders back. I can pop it off the floor all day, but when I'm trying to lock out with my shoulders forward, that means I'm locking out with my back, and it's just not going to happen. So it was a rough day, and I actually felt like I was going to black out, and my strap actually never came off on that one. I had a lot more support behind me, but again, I didn't get my shoulders back, and this was my third set. My first two sets of 3 reps. I made the lockout, but it was garbage, and it just wasn't going to happen on the last one. This is also the same thing I did last week. All my accessories stay the same, but make sure your weights increase linearly. You never want to go down in accessory work if it's based off of strength. If you're doing hypertrophy stuff, doesn't matter if you're using more weight. When you're doing strength-based stuff like wide stance box squats to help with hip strength, which helps sumo deadlifting, it is very important to make sure that you are going up in weight every week. That is the point. Here we have yoke bar good mornings. This is pretty much a 2-for-1. This bar is made to pull you forward while squatting. One of the other awesome things about this bar is it helps with shoulder. If you have shoulder issues, it keeps your shoulders in a stable position and not strained. But you're going into a good morning with a bar that's meant to pull you forward, so it's like a 2-for-1, and it's cranking on my back. And like I said before, my lower back is a weak point, and these kill me every single time. Day 4, the whole team trains in the morning on day 4, which is awesome. This is Tucker. He was in my last video deadlifting. He's also going to be at the Arnold on Elite Day. I made him come in and bench with me. I was able to push him a little bit. He got a huge PR on this movement. He also responds really well to motivation. I had the whole team here today. 2 of the sets that I had felt pretty crappy. I decided to only go up 5 pounds, and it seemed to pay off. So I believe probably my first 2 sets I could have gotten away with a little bit more weight, but as my final set panned out, it took me a second to lock out my last rep, so I was right where I needed to be. Notice the tension in my legs never leaves. I generate a little bit more force as the pad, the bench block is touching my chest and I'm popping off, but there's a lot of tension the whole time. Tucker's main issue with this movement that he was having issues with when no one was coaching him was he was just letting his lats just loose. So doing 6 reps with a maximal amount of weight to a 2 board can get away from you really quickly because you are maintaining the majority of this movement with your lats. And the second you take a breath, you're going to loosen your lats up, and trying to regain that is going to kill you. And this is the last lockout that I was talking about. It was really, really long to get there, and I didn't have anything left after that. So we kind of, Saturday or day 4, it pretty much turns into a bro day because it's just a lot of volume, and we call it a bro day just because it's basic bodybuilding movements and just a lot of volume, a lot of reps, and it was super crowded in the gym. The atmosphere is pretty amped up, and we just got it done. If you guys like the video, please subscribe, shoot me a like. If you have any questions, please shoot them in the comments section. Check out my Facebook. The link is down there, and also my Instagram for more videos to give you guys ideas on stuff to do.